Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Deathmatch Russell Podcast. Let's get it on!
Come into the ring, step into the fire, see what you want, baby. If your heart has desire, and get out, get knocked down. Deathmatch Russell Podcast, Deathmatch Russell Podcast, Deathmatch Russell Podcast.
Good evening, everyone, and you're listening to another episode of the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. My guest at this time, she is an actress. She's an ECW icon. She is XPW's manager of the Maga faction, Jasmin Sinclair. How you doing tonight?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It feels like it's time to get more and more of the roster on as we go. It's fun. Like you just did Larry, and how'd you like having Larry on?
He's so much fun. I wasn't sure what to expect when he came over to XPW, but he's really cool, and I think we had a lot more in common than I thought. He's definitely a very good addition to the roster at XPW Wrestling.
Yeah, but you're a main roster as well, but you're like a veteran, an icon, really.
It's been fun so far. I wasn't sure what to expect going back into XPW, but with all of the death matches and everything, it was so different than what we're used to. But I guess it's XPW 2023.
It is, and we're just and the last show we just had, California too. Oh my gosh, I wish I was there. It's so hard for like a Jersey person to fly. That's far, isn't it? It's a challenge, but maybe I'll get out there one day.
Yeah, well, we have shows in New Jersey every other month.
I know, and we'll be right there. So yeah, people get a ticket and come on out and see XPW, broken, beat, and scarred. As we already have one in match announcement, it's really interesting. Like Kat Martini, the XPW TV champion, versus the Body. Like that was like, wow. Like, okay, she needs to prove herself.
Well, I think it's the other way around. I mean, you have Hard Body, and he really thinks he's a woman. So it just kind of. When he was in the Miss Extreme contest, it was sort of disgusting. It was like, it was like watching whatever that guy's name is who thinks he's trans, but he's not, whatever its name is. It's the same thing. So I'm glad.
Sam Phillips? Like singer Sam, whatever his name is.
Dylan Mulv, that Bud Light guy. But yeah. So I'm glad that they're doing this, and maybe it'll like teach Hard Body a lesson to not dress up like a woman.
True.
Unless you're going to cut your private parts off and go all the way. Oh, that's right.
Yes, we could. Yes, we could say whatever we want on here, not censored. So, thank you. So, Jasmin, what was it like for you in your early career, like growing up? What was your first experience with wrestling as a kid?
Going to the okay. So I used to watch it with my grandmother on TV every weekend, and it was a lot of fun because she'd interact with the TV somehow and think that you could hear your voice. But then my first WrestleMania was Ultimate Warrior versus the Hulk in Canada.
Oh, wow.
And that was really cool. Like that was, I think, the one of the best WrestleManias ever. And I don't really watch WWE as much as I used to growing up. I watched it a lot during the Attitude Era, though.
Yeah. The Attitude Era was big, but then fast forward, we see WCW, and then ECW starts coming around, and that really was like a big changer to the game of hardcore wrestling, to the scene as what we wanted to see on our
Thank God.
Yes, and I just got a tweet from Johnny Candido, so shout out to Johnny Candido. How about that? Johnny, Chris's brother.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Chris. Miss him. Great guy. to be in the locker room, to hear all the stories. You know, he was a goofball. Chris was a goofball. I'm sure you know. I'm sure you've seen that in the past. You know, of his career, Chris Candido's career.
Yeah, he was really nice. I met him and Tammy a couple of times, and like her, I saw more afterwards, obviously, because she did a lot of those conventions and things like that.
Yeah, she did a lot of those, and then she got herself in trouble, but that's something else. Whatever, life goes on, and you know. But so what was it like for you to work with Paul Heyman? Like, just I got to see him. I actually got to see him early on in his career at a local promotion and National Wrestling NFW actually with Dr. David Schultz was actually there.
He was really nice, Paul Heyman. I owe a lot to him for helping me out and giving me a chance. I thought that I think he's one of the best masterminds in the business. WWE is very lucky to have him, and I just hope they give him creative control of everything. Because he definitely has earned it and deserves it. I think he knows what he's doing. You know, if he's given the parameters of what he can and cannot do, he makes the best of it. And that was the great thing about ECW. It was like the wild, wild west.
Yeah, and you know you were there for so long doing what you did, and you know, and I could go back and say, I wish I was a part of that. You know, like I wish I was there for the early on stuff, but I was at the ECW's One Night Stand too in New York. I did the rebirth, you know, like when they came to New York and did the pay-per-view, bringing all the ECW Sabu and, you know, and just everybody, John Cena. It was a different kind of crowd though, you know?
Yeah.
With Balls Mahoney, and God rest his soul too, you know?
He was really a lovely person. They all were lovely people.
I know. And I always tell the story that I live in, you know, at the Jersey Shore here. And I worked at a dollar store, and this 18 years old, and this guy walks in. It's Balls Mahoney. I didn't know who he was. Like, I'm stocking my shelves, and people are like, yeah, he's on TV, kid. No way. So then I got hooked on ECW. And then from there, Johnny, you know, I knew Johnny through the local promotions, and it was pretty cool to just you know, say, hey, I knew somebody from the East Coast, you know, that's, you know, that would always wrestle around, you know, the States to everywhere. It was really cool.
Yeah, and he was a really nice person.
But here's another story. Next door was the Big and Tall store. Okay, big and tall clothing. The guy who ran it, Public Enemy, used to come in there and get their clothing.
Really?
Isn't that? Yeah.
I thought that was only for super tall guys, like 6'5" and up, or 6 feet over.
But they used to go in there all the time to buy some clothing. I thought that was pretty for a tag team who's been around, and I followed them. They were like a local tag team that, you know, would come to the East Jersey Shore a lot for wrestling cards at the Asbury Park or down in Toms River, New Jersey, at one of the arenas there. Isn't that cool? Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, they were lovely people. It's sad that they passed away. That's the really worst thing about wrestling. Is then you somehow what happens is then you end up working with people, you grow attached to them, and the worst part is that they end up you know, passing away before their time. Because I think wrestlers, I mean, they have a little bit longer of a lifespan than mobsters and so forth, and guys that live that lifestyle.
Yeah, they, you know, they pay their demons, and they, you know, they do their things that are not good, but, you know, life passes, and we, you know, they move on. You know, it's a whole new world. But let's get back to you at XPW. Like, what was your first thought when Rob gave you that first call?
This time around, you mean?
Yeah.
This time around, I reconnected with him when I was living in Europe, and then I moved back. And then we were talking again last year, and he said, yeah, just stay in touch with me. I have really big things on the horizon. So I'm saying to myself, of course he does. It's Rob. He's always been creative. I knew that he started up his own business in Rochester, and he's doing good. So I was happy that, you know, he decided to give his creativity another stab at it, so to speak. And I wasn't sure what to expect. I don't think any of us were last year at this time when we had California.
Mm-hmm.
It was different. And one of the first wrestlers I met was Necro Butcher. Okay. But we weren't working together at that point. I just remember being in the same dressing room with him. Because I had my suitcase in the small room off to the back. And then I see this big guy come in there with his American flag pants or whatever. And he's sitting across from me, you know, do you mind if I put this here? I'm like, yeah, no problem. And we're just chit-chatting. Then he goes out to the ring barefooted doing this match with Schlack. I'd never seen anything like that before. I'd never seen people getting thrown through glass shower doors. And it was, you know, it was XPW wrestling on steroids.
Yes. Yes. You're blown. But you know what? It's an adrenaline. We love it. We love it. We just, you know, it's our outing. It's our hot, you know, we get to see it every week, you know, every month, you know, like, and just East Coast, West Coast, you know, it's like vacation kind of too, you know, think about it.
Yeah. And it's really good that like this time around, I think that Rob's created like homegrown characters. I don't think anyone else is doing a gimmick like the body. Nobody else is doing
or the hardcore hillbilly.
Oh yeah, or him. He's special. No one else dares do the Mega Maga faction. We thought about it first.
Yeah.
Plus, you know, we are our gimmicks. We really are. And no one else is gonna have the balls to do it because everyone's out there like so, you know, butthurt over everything, you know, and no one dare copies that. And even if they do, no one's gonna ever be able to do it the way we do it. And then you know, he just has all different characters, all different types of like Schlack, for example. That's another one who's a lot of fun to work with. He's a character on his own.
He is, and and the first time he tossed you over the barbed wire rope, I was like, "Oh no, you weren't expecting that."
I wasn't sure how that would end up. I was like,
no. Yeah, I was like, "Oh boy, I'm standing over there on the right side, you know, by the curtain." You know, over there.
When you were there when that happened, that was really scary. Yeah, considering that the top barbed wire wasn't cut, you know, okay, great.
I know. Yeah. But we just saw in California when Shane Mercer launched we launched the body across another ring over like my God.
I mean, yeah, he had I don't know if he bench presses things heavier than the hard body. So
yeah, he lifts school benches. I know that. I've seen that in the past.
Does he?
Yes, he's throwing wrestlers. He's lifted up those those big school benches, those like basketball seatings, you know, football seatings. Crazy.
Yeah, I was just on on his Instagram, and someone commented on there. Yeah, he should be a part of the Mega Maga faction. He'd actually probably be really good to be a part of the faction. He has the right look.
He does.
And the right discipline.
But you know, we look back at XPW when it first started. It was like you know, the characters were like you said, characters are characters. You know, you built the gimmicks that you know, we saw and then we rebuild it again, and it's just fantastic. Like it's a great company to work for. I'm glad I'm a part of it as well. You know, like to be a part of XPW and to be a part, you know, to get more people to watch XPW because we want more fan base. We want more people to interact and go see what we got. You know, what Rob has to offer.
Yeah, I mean, I think too many people fall for rumors and so many other stupid things that they listen to, but it's a fun show all around, and you know, it is what it is, and you know, these guys really give their whole, you know, their all to it as well.
Absolutely. And the female division is fantastic. Like
Ludark, I love Ludark and Lindsay and Sage.
Yeah, they are just a bunch of sweethearts. Like really just ladies that have been in the ring and know what they do, you know, and we'll see some more different talent come along the way and face them. You know, we need to.
Yeah, those three are the best. So I mean, hands down, Ludark, Lindsay. Like I'd never heard of Lindsay before, or Sage, but those two, I mean, and Ludark, those three are really the top three in all of, you know, I feel right now, within the indie circuit right now. Those three are amazing.
They are, and Ludark, you know, her history in Mexico and just everywhere, And I remember going to. I always tell. I went to IWA Mid South. Took a trip with my friends, and we saw. It was IWA versus GCW, and she was there, and I met her. She was just really going to town, just really doing her thing. It was amazing, in Schlack too, and just a whole bunch of Masada and just a whole bunch of other people were there. It was great to see. But shout out to Masada, man. Let's man, prayers go out to him, and prayers go out to our buddy Drake. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's weird because in the dressing room he had this thing like I was helping him put some black bandage on his chest. We thought maybe it was his ribs.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm thinking, okay, so I see something like protruding out of his back. I'm like, what's that? Whatever. So then you see this whole thing. Oh, it's a vertebrae in the back, but he's on a walker today. So we're praying for a speedy recovery as well. And I don't know if he'll ever get back in the ring to that degree ever again, but at least he went out with the tournament with the trophy.
Yes,
the winner.
Yeah, and you know what? You always fight hard. Like Masada fights hard every day to battle, and you know what? As he's called the suicidal beast for a reason. He's just a fighter, and they're both fighters, and we're proud of them. We're just proud of what they have done for us, as wrestlers, and just come a long way for the business of wrestling. Deathmatch wrestling has. If it wasn't for those guys, where would XPW be now? Really,
exactly.
They are the fourth. It's like the forefront of wrestling. You have Necro Butcher. How Rob always says, "Oh, we have all these guys are the vets of XPW," and it's true. They've showed the work.
And we'll keep adding to that roster, hopefully. And I think that there's something for everyone now. In that, we have just these guys are actually good wrestlers. What people forget is that these guys actually learned to wrestle. That's where all this started. And then these like all the light tubes and everything else. It's like the bells and whistles of the match. So with or without it, they're still great talents. I feel as though a lot of people lack nowadays characters in indie wrestling and great promos as well. Because people, I just when you go to a show, you want to see people that are cooler than you.
And you put out the great. I always like when you put out a very good promo. You always, always on top. Everybody says that is good, and I always tell people she's great. She is one of those people. You're welcome. That's part of your acting too. So you.
Am I acting in those, or do I really mean it?
You never know.
I usually do it within the first take. I'll tell you that much. Maybe there might be like the last time we did those. My bandana top fell off, so we had to start from the top, but it was done by the second take.
Yeah. But let me ask you this: you posted a couple days ago. You're actually working on a movie set right now. You're actually working with a movie, aren't you? Or a series or something, right?
It's a couple things I'm working on. One was a film we just finished called Road to Terzetto. Then I finished another one called The Daughters of Dolomite, which is a spinoff of the Dolomite films. I don't always post everything I'm working on. I did something on General Hospital. I don't always put it out there because it's not for everyone to know my business and then possibly try to cancel me. And there's always that one stupid idiot that's going to try that.
But they'll never do that to you.
Right. It's one thing I've noticed. It's always like woke people with these mental like wellness issues. And it's going to be someone like that tries something stupid. But, it all comes like to a full 360.
Yeah. And, from acting to porn to like back in the day, like it's like crazy, right? Like you just think of yourself, but now you're just having fun, just managing and just having fun, do what you like to do, perform it in front of us, and tell a good story and get the crowd behind Necro Butcher and, just get everybody, going as the show goes on,
Exactly.
But, Jasmin, let me ask you this. Scariest moment in your career, like of ECW, like what did you ever break any bones or like have any bad injuries or no?
Maybe like things happened over the years.
Like a table or like a door.
I think the only really scary thing was just taking that pile driver off the top rope. We did that a few times, and I know one out of those few times, it was one of those moments because you're basically on someone who's sort of slippery, sweaty. You have all the adrenaline, and you just get caught up in the work in the moment that anything can happen.
Yeah, because they wear the baby oil too, so that's really
slippery. It's a lot of stuff going on. Is it something I do again? I would never take that bump ever again.
No. Let me ask you this, another one. Heckling moment. Worst heckling moment in any kind of show, or even now. Xpw.
Never. I mean, I know that sounds horrible, but nothing bothers me.
Like an old lady, like an old grandma just saying, "Hey, fuck you," like.
No, I don't really care. Yeah. I that people giving me middle fingers.
Yeah.
I just let people be, and they just let us all do our thing. But I don't really get concerned with that stuff. No. I don't. I never did back then either, because I'm there to do my own thing, and I don't really. It doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me ask you this. What are you currently watching? Any good movies lately? Anything at all? I haven't.
Watching? Oh, yeah. Anything that's not American, because you watch these stupid American things, and it just came up in a class today. Yeah. I'm at an improv conservatory, just, like improv. And it comes up with these people, this whole cancel culture. And in the States, I feel as though they're canceling so many good things that could be on TV. Everything is a remake of something, or just something that just, it's like, what are you doing? So now I'm just watching a foreign series called The Good Man. And it's a true docuseries. It took place in Norway. And it's about a guy who was a cop that might have been allegedly like dealing drugs and so forth. Then I like the Greco family. There's another one I watched, Yankee, which took place in Mexico. But I'm watching things that are mostly overseas, nothing American.
Yeah,
when you go to the theaters here,
you want to switch it up. Yeah, you have
to. Yeah. Plus, when I go to, I'm the member of a revival theater in California called the Arrow Theater. So you see movies like Vertigo on the big screen. You see really good movies there from before. When they show the more modern films, I don't really go to those. And there are a lot of Q&As there. So Paul Schrader showed up, who is the director of American Hardcore, things like that. So
do you like watching Broadway musicals?
Yeah, some of them. I don't go too many now. I want to see Tootsie, and Tootsie is one of my favorite movies of all time with Dustin Hoffman. But to go on Broadway to see it, I don't want to see. It's so off how they have it now and how they have the whole thing cast. I just don't get into it. No.
I think the last Broadway show I saw was Martin Short. Martin Short did it, and Billy Crystal did one too.
Yeah, I love Billy Crystal.
And my sister and I actually, or my parents, we went and saw Brooke Shields in My Town.
Oh, she was in My Town?
Yeah, kind of like weird. Like you grow up with this, I think the girl crushed up, American kids, people growing up. You just like, it's amazing, like just to see like a young girl who had a good career. She really was talented.
Yeah, I met her once when I was younger, and she was doing a photo shoot in Manhattan because I think she was a Jersey girl or something. But
yes,
yeah, she's from New Jersey, so she was there doing this whole photo. She's really nice.
Actually, wait a minute. She's from Princeton, New Jersey. That's right. Yeah,
she's from, and then a friend of mine ended up dating her years later. He went on a date with her.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's crazy. But yeah, there's you never know who you meet in life. It's like celebrity wise. What's the last celebrity you ever met? Ooh.
Let me think. I don't really know. I mean, I meet people all the time.
I know. It's like, yeah.
It's so many because you work on set with these. Excluded not working with someone on a set, I would say maybe. Who was that person? It was some like. I met David Spade before. I met so many people recently. I don't know. I mean, I try not to acknowledge people too much because they're so busy in their own world.
They don't want to be. They don't want to be.
I'm so unimpressed by people nowadays. You know, and who's who and so and so. I met a few Baldwins before, and lately and recently, I don't know. I see them out all the time. I know there was one on the plane. I didn't know who he was. He was sitting in business class as well, and I have no clue who this guy was. But I mean, people went up to him. I don't know if he was someone from something or some kid show. I have no clue.
I hear you. Yeah, my sister, you know, it's like my sister. She worked for a publishing company in New York City. Actually, Penguin Putnam was the company, and every day guests would come walk. Comedy Central was there.
Yeah.
So she would see like the Olsen twins and just any comedian, whoever was like on set, you know, like in the walking doing something.
And I guess like you have to define your version of a celebrity. Like Catherine Deneuve is, you know, my version of a celebrity. Pete Davidson is not. Some YouTube influencer is not a version of a celebrity, of someone that's actually worked and done anything in their life except go on YouTube and buy whatever. And like that to me is something. Maybe my teacher at Groundlings is a celebrity. I don't know. You know, I just know a lot of people. So.
Yeah. We all sometimes we just don't know who's who. You know, it's like growing up, it's like you go to New York for your first time and you don't know who you're going to meet, right? Like, and you're like, I remember as a kid we went to the Planet Hollywood. You know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And when that was so famous, you know, when that was so popular, and we're sitting, you know, we get a table, and sitting behind me was Damon Williams from In a Living Color. You know, like you wouldn't think of like comedy, you know, that's like a normal person like that. And then one year, I always tell a story. We went Christmas time, my family, we go to the Plaza Hotel. Guess who was there?
Who?
It was Joey Buttafuoco and his wife, Amy
Yeah,
Fish.
I met him before, Joey. I met him many times.
I was like, oh, that was like, okay, I really don't want to see this guy, you know, this family, you know, eating dinner. But you never know who you meet on the streets anywhere, you know.
No, like he was a bouncer at the Rainbow Bar and Grill. He was security with Joey Buttafuoco. So I don't.
Oh, you know who did a film in my neighborhood was featured on a movie called The Bully. Tarantino was the director.
Tarantino.
Yeah, it was a boxer. Yeah. I didn't even. They were filming right down the street from my house. I didn't even do it while I was working.
Yeah, I didn't know. I know the movie, but I didn't know.
Yeah. I never got. Well, actually, I always tell people how I was in 2 movies. The Wrestler. Yeah. I was in The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. I was outside having a cigarette, and here he is.
I'm sure. I mean, he's very nice. He used to have an apartment in the West Village, in New York City.
And then I did another film. It was like a what do you call it? Like a comedy murder movie, and I work in a garbage company, so they used our truck, and I was like a cast member, like just for like 10 minutes. It was really neat. So I got to be famous for like 5 minutes, you know, on that.
That's cute.
Music wise, what are you into nowadays? What is your go-to music?
Oh, the same thing I've been into since a kid. Mostly death metal, heavy metal, like Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, King Diamond, Cannibal Corpse, Suffocation. Things like that. Awesome. I still go to a lot of music festivals, like the ones that are real music festivals, not Coachella or this other bullshit they have. So I go to, when I lived in Europe, I'd go to festivals all the time. Now I just go 2 to 3 times a year.
Awesome. That's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Music, I know. I think my last concert was Dave Matthews.
Band. Oh, cool. That's an old school one.
Yes, it is. but I've done like one of those like live Earth concerts. I've seen Bon Jovi so many times. My sister calls me up. Do you want to go see Bon Jovi? Okay, But I did actually get the chance to go see the Rolling Stones. My neighbor had a ticket. He called me up. Hey, you want to go see the Rolling Stones for your first time? Sure, I did. And then there was another time I took my dad. We went to this baseball stadium by my house, and Game Changer Wrestling at the time had a little street fest, rock music fest was going on, and Alice Cooper was playing.
Cool.
My dad got to see Alice Cooper for his first time.
So what year was that?
I don't even know. I can't even.
So my friend plays for them. She plays guitar for them. And then I've seen Alice Cooper when I was like, I saw Alice Cooper before, but I got to meet him when I was like 13 years old.
Mm-hmm. But I have I got another story for you for a New Year's party that I actually attended one year at my sister's house in Pennsylvania. Okay. This guy comes walking in with his little kid. Okay. We don't know who he was. And we all go out to the kitchen. And his son says, Dad, I'd go for some cherries right now. Big cherries. He's like, wait a minute. Hey, son. I said, I could go for some cherry pie. It was Cece DeVille of Warren.
Oh, Cece DeVille. You mean Poison?
Yes. And he actually had the Poison vest, like the zip-up hoodie with the logo. I was like, oh, no way. Just crazy. But
Cece reminds me of like some typical like LA woman in AA that can't get her shit together or is going through lots of shit.
Yes.
Reminds me of like pick out like any Beverly Hills mess and that's Cece with the bleach hair and shit.
Yeah. But he's doing okay now, so it's a good thing. Still out there performing, Yeah,
I haven't seen them in a while.
No, I haven't either. It was one of my sister's friends, good friends, I guess they knew.
Oh, cool.
I know. So connected. He didn't play for us though, we just chilled out. But he drank a Dr. Pepper though, like
I'm sure
he couldn't drink with a kid there. No, I couldn't imagine that. But what else? You have anything for me? Ooh, like random questions? Got anything for me? Jasmin?
No.
No? I think we are pretty good to go here. What do you think? I think we covered all that we wanted to cover tonight.
Are you going to be at the next XPW show?
In Jersey, absolutely. I can't wait.
Cool. Yeah, I can't wait to see what it's like this time. I mean, it'll be fun. And I just spoke to Ecw Butcher today. He just got back from Japan. So
yes, he had a long trip.
Yeah, I mean, I see his photos every day. I'm like, don't bring back any girls here. No kamikazes. You leave them there.
Yeah.
So that's it. So
yeah, he's drinking all that kind of snake bottle.
I saw snake sake. Yes. I have to talk to him about that. But yes, I mean, I can't wait to do the next few XPW shows that are up. Then I have some promoters in London that were speaking to me and someone in Australia that I have to get back to like tomorrow or something to see. So I'll just compare it with my XPW dates and figure it out from there. But
yeah, absolutely. But anyway, Jasmin, this was awesome. We'll have to definitely do this again after. We'll do another one down the road.
Yeah, we should have Hillbilly on too.
So I got to get in contact with. I need to get him on.
The Hardcore Hillbilly?
Yeah, we got to beg him to. I got to tell him next show. We'll get. I'll tell him.
I think he'd like that quite a bit and get like the most viral penis in wrestling on as well. The hard body.
I've had him already. I know. Great character.
God.
You think about the arc, but we have the best people right now, and then later we get to listen to Rob here talk more on his show.
On tonight. Oh God, I love it when he calls. It's just so random. Like that night, I was just sitting around doing work on the computer, and he called. The first thing
I wasn't expecting it either. I
didn't know. He's like, don't. As soon as he got me on the phone, I was like, don't say anything racist. Don't say anything political. I'm like, what is he talking about? I'm like, I never do that. You know that.
Yeah.
So then he's like, you're on the radio. Click. I'm like, oh, okay. Hi.
Hey, everyone.
It's cute. It's like an old school party line,
Yeah. And I'm waiting for him to call me up or some. He used to do the fan. It's like because he always calls me David. Cunt Russell. He always calls me the cunt.
You can't take it personally. It's Rob.
I know it is, and it's great. He has his faves, and we're his favorite people. So
everyone loves Rob. You can't it's just Rob. You just got to let him be, and that's it. We just had the show a few days ago, so I just let him wind down. Then I'll reach out to him today or so.
It's a lot of jet lag. That's a long flight.
It's that, but also it's like so emotionally draining as well.
Yeah.
And people don't get that. Like I've had like guys I dated that like came to the show, maybe saw it or like hung out. Oh, well, let's go out tomorrow. It's like, no, dickweed. I'm not going out with you tomorrow. I'm not going out with you the day after. I'll go out with you when I feel like it.
What time did you get done? What time did you actually leave there? Because I know that they got done cleaning up. I
was helping out with the merchandise.
Yeah.
And so probably around 1-ish or 12. Wow. Like 11:30, 12. Rob knows I'll help him if I can. Yeah. So we've got to make arrangements for the merchandise, I think, to some of it to be out here. So I have like this whole corner cleaned out in my apartment just to like put suitcases of merchandise the next show if he needs me to. Then then it's just, even after that, it's just emotionally taxing in many ways. And it's just exhausting. And, in New Jersey, I stay out longer. But they just, people like normal, I don't even know if they're normal. Just people don't get it. Like once you're there doing that, you're not ready to go socialize the next fucking day. You're not ready to go socialize even the day after that. Mm-hmm. I had a class this morning, and I didn't even feel like dealing with some of the assholes in my class, but I did.
Yeah. So everybody pulled through. Everybody did their job, and we're proud of everybody, and that's what it was about. Rob. But to see him get out there and push a broom, come on. I mean,
more people step up.
You do what you have to do for your company. And if I was there, Cal, I probably would be quicker.
Well, you should come out then. Come out and help. Come out and do something then, David.
I know. I'll tell him at the next show. I'll talk to him. I'll save my money up and come out
and help out. You should totally do it. You should definitely follow. You should do it, I think.
I know. I'm pretty handy also with the weaponry, and give Schlack credit for that. My God, he really put a lot of that, weaponry together. I used to do that for
Schlack's his own thing. He's his own machine. He's his own entity. He's his own branding. And I always say there should be a Schlack comic book, because in one part of the comic, you see him like playing his instrument on stage. Yeah. And 2 seconds later, you see him like going down the street to the gym. In the gym. Next thing you know, you see him like doing whatever it is. Maybe he's wrestling. Then he's back at the gym. Then you see him there like eating 10 pounds of like beef or something. Then you see him back out there like being a monster. Mm-hmm. So it's just Schlack, and if anyone ever asks like Schlack what he does for a living, he just has to say being me is a full-time job.
Being me and tattooing people. That's it. And
that's it.
And playing music, rock,
Yeah, but he's one of the most professional people I've been around in this business, and he's very like dedicated to his craft and respects everyone who ever gets into the ring with him and is there working with him.
That's how I got to be friends with him. He was like when he worked for Combat Zone Wrestling. I mean, I was there. I was there for his first match, and just in Masada too. Like I just thought these guys just go out there and show. And Eric Ryan, like these guys just were just nobody, and they got proof, But Eric Ryan, shout out to him, another guy that's really works hard on the scene today.
Maybe like Schlack could do an appearance in like the next like Desert Eagle like music video or something, right? But so that's just food for thought.
But what else you got to say? I'll put our Twitters and you can follow your social media.
Oh my God, you have it right. Yeah. So those are my socials, and I just go ahead and I post on there whenever I feel like it, and it could be anything really random and just that's out there. I have new merchandise coming out. I just had a Kiss card that came out. Then I have my podcast every Wednesday, Crazy Train with Jasmin St. Clair, that drops on all your favorite platforms. I've had Teddy Hart on, Joey Ryan. I've had Jazz on from ECW. All types of people. Larry Legend was just on, and tomorrow, which one drops? Oh, from the Dwarfs, the band, the Dwarfs. The lead singer is on. And he's they're one of the XPW sponsored bands. So I always like to throw bands in there as much as I can because it's fun. And you get all types of really cool guests.
We need to. That's what That's what we need to get Rob to do in the summertime. Get one of the bands to play. We should have them.
Yeah, I want to see the Dwarf play, or see Schlack's band play. I want to see Crippler play.
Oh my God, they're crazy.
Wouldn't
they are
that be
awesome.
fun?
We need to tell that to Rob. Rob, are you listening right now? Come on, let's put a band out there for one night only. We'll have a band with XPW going on. We should.
Yeah, I say we get the Crippler to play, because actually I have the music from Schlack. It's amazing. So I want to see the I like to see them play, or see Internal Bleeding play. They're a lot of fun to have on the show, because it was all of them. It was like the Peanut Gallery almost, but it was cute.
Yeah. Jasmin, I want to say thank you so much for coming on. This was fun. This was a good one. See, I like doing random. You don't have to have the list. People have their notes and everything. You just have to speak your mind and have fun.
Cool. Maybe you could have OJ Simpson on one day or something. But yeah, it was definitely fun.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. That's it for tonight's episode of the Deathmatch Russell podcast. I wanted to say thank you again to Jasmin Sinclair for coming on the podcast, and everybody stay tuned. Maybe I'll have to dig out the Hardcore Hillbilly for the next episode. Stay tuned, fans. Good night, everybody. You listen to another episode of the Deathmatch Russell podcast. And we go here and here. Good night. Here we go. Good night, everybody. Another night of the Deathmatch Russell podcast. As we always talk wrestling and death matches and the world of wrestling. Good night, everybody. Till next time. Tune in.
For more Deathmatch Russell podcast interviews, follow on social media at Facebook at Deathmatch Russell Podcast, Twitter at DavidNewJersey32, Instagram at DavidNJ36, YouTube channel David C. Russell, website at deathmatchrussellpod.com. Visit brainbustertees.com for Deathmatch Russell podcast merchandise. Follow XPW Wrestling at www.thexpwwrestling.com. Also check out WrestlingWithJohners.com. Just hit the like button and share.